All right, viewers. Now, the voter Adhikar Yatra in Bihar of Rahul Gandhi and Tejasvi might have ended. Having said that, the politics over one incident that happened in that yatra is still peaking. The latest entrant in that amphitheatre is the Prime Minister himself, who was abused on the 27th of August by a Congress worker. What will this lead to? Can Prime Minister convert an abuse into a political opportunity? Take a look.
Rahul Gandhi and Tejasvi Yadav's Vote Adhikar Yatra might have ended, but one incident in it continues to set the political agenda for the BJP. An incident where a Congress worker abused Prime Minister. Now the Prime Minister himself has stepped into the theatre of abuse politics. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, today speaking virtually to Bihari women, broke his silence over an abuse hurled at him and his mother in a Congress RJD rally on 27 September.
मेरी उस मां को जिसका राजनीति से कोई लेना देना नहीं, जिसका शरीर भी अब नहीं है, मेरी उस मां को आरजेडी कांग्रेस के मंच से भद्दी भद्दी गालियां दी गई। क्या गुना? उस मां का क्या गुना जैसे भद्दी गालियां सुना दी जाए।
Late Wednesday, after the Lok Sabha leader of opposition, Rahul Gandhi, left the venue in Darbhanga of Vote Adhikar Yatra, one Congress worker has abused Prime Minister Modi from the stage. The abusive Congress worker was arrested and sent to judicial custody. The BJP then, including the Union Home Minister, had attacked the Congress for fostering a culture of abuse.
और मैं आग्रह भी करना चाहूंगा राहुल गांधी जी के कि जरा भी शर्म बची है तो मोदी जी की, उनकी स्वर्गीय माता जी की और देश की जनता की जरूर माफी मांगे आप।
Congress, on the other hand, maintained it was not a Congress worker but someone else, insinuating a plan by the BJP itself. With the Prime Minister now himself stepping in, getting emotional, referring to his dead mother.
गाली, भद्दी गाली केवल मेरी मां को नहीं दी गई है। ये भद्दी भद्दी गाली करोड़ों माताओं बहनों को दी गई है।
Will this politically put the Mahagathbandhan on the back foot with the Bihari woman vote? The opposition leaders, though, took a sharp dig at the ruling party and its leaders, allegedly reminding them of a history of using derogatory language against political opponents. In 2004, Narendra Modi in BJP's Bharat Uday Yatra called Sonia Gandhi a Jersey cow and her son Rahul Gandhi a hybrid calf. He later apologized for both. In recent years, the leader of opposition in West Bengal Assembly in 2022 parliamentary election campaign used highly derogatory language against Rahul Gandhi.
গত 4 দিন ধরেই একই প্রশ্ন করে যাচ্ছেন রাহুল গান্ধী কে হরিদাস পাল বলছে স্টোভের উপর কয়লা দিয়ে সকালবেলা চা গরম তৈরি হয়। স্টোভের উপরে কয়লা দেওয়া আমি তো কই দেখিও নি শুনিও নি। তাহলে যার এই সেন্স তাকে কাউন্ট কেন করেন? পশ্চিমবাংলায় তো অপ্রাসঙ্গিক পার্টি কোথাও আছে নি।
What remains to be seen is, will the Prime Minister emotionally track with the voters of Bihar, especially the women voters? Remember, Congress leader Manish Aiyar calling Narendra Modi Neech in 2017 and a chaiwala in 2014 had cost the Congress dearly. While even though it was not abusive, but what some thought was derogative. When the Prime Minister campaigning in West Bengal in 2021 election had referred to Mamata Banerjee as Didi O Didi.
दीदी, ओ दीदी, दीदी, ओ दीदी।
This was played big by the TMC as disrespect and had found resonance with the section of Bengali women. What remains to be seen is how much will this incident of highly abusive language used by an alleged Congress worker harm the Congress. Sometimes all it takes is one emotive issue. Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, viewers. So sometimes all it takes is one emotive issue. And we have seen many a times in the past where the BJP and Prime Minister Modi have converted the worst of abuse into brilliant political opportunities. The questions that we ask and take to our panelists this evening: will the abuse gate form Bihar election backdrop? Can Prime Minister Modi turn abuse into an opportunity? He's done that before. Will he be successful in doing it the second time? Or many a times after that he's done it. Will abuse swing voter emotion? It's known to have happened in many states, especially in favor of the Prime Minister. Can it happen again? Let's take all these questions to our political panelists this evening. Joining me, Rajat Sethi, political commentator; Ashutosh, author, political commentator; Sanju Verma, national spokesperson, Bharatiya Janata Party; Mohan Kumar Mangalam, national spokesperson, Congress. All of you will get 2 minutes time to put your points forward. I'll begin with the Congress spokesperson, Mr. Kumar Mangalam. 2 minutes, sir. The fact is, we'll play out those graphics, and there are a legion of graphics, legion of, anecdotes when one can go back in instances where the Prime Minister has converted the worst of abuse into an opportunity. You can start all the way back to the Chaiwala jibe in 2014, being called Neech in 2017, Hydra-headed Ravan in 2020, to Chaukidar Chor Hai, which, again was spun over where the Prime Minister was concerned, to many, many instances. Is this a huge blunder by the Congress?
Preeti, I think this is a bit of a cry of desperation than a cry out of emotion. This comment was made by some individual after the entire convoy had moved on. There was nobody on stage, and there is no incontrovertible proof linking this person to the Congress party. In fact, there were rumors of this person being from the BJP as well. So who actually said something matters? In this case, also, in the beginning of the program, you talked about the many ways in which the Prime Minister himself and people like the leader of opposition of BJP in Bengal have lowered the political discourse and said much worse, from 50 crore ki girlfriend to calling the leader of opposition a tube light. So much of this has been done, and this is from themselves, from people at that stature. So that makes a big, big difference. Now, as far as whether he can use this for political gain, if you want my objective opinion, I would say that if this was something that someone at a particular level of seniority said, and that too during polling or around time of polling in Bihar, he might have been able to leverage it like he has in the past. But you can't repeat the same strategy again and again and hope for the same outcome. I mean, you can't keep thinking that you're going to fool all of the people all of the time. We've seen this story, this sort of victim mentality from the Prime Minister during political campaigns several times. So I think the only people who were insulted in this entire episode was the intelligence of the voter of Bihar. If the Prime Minister thinks he can get away and try and turn, distract them from the real issue at hand, which is what the Yatra is going on about, I don't think it's going to work anymore.
You have 30 seconds, but I would like to interject. We'll hold your time, Mr. Kumar Mangalam. But the fact is, it was a Congress worker. You haven't been able to prove it otherwise. It was a Congress worker who said what he did. The abuse was terrible.
It was a worker. Preeti,
you haven't been able to prove it otherwise, sir, is all I'm saying.
Preeti, why is it incumbent on me to prove it otherwise? Isn't it incumbent on everybody else to prove that?
Sir, it happened. No, I'll tell you why.
Someone's presence.
Because we're getting into an argument
on a stage.
A debate.
Yes, I know, but let me finish. I'll take this time. Someone's present on a stage during when the convoy is moved on. Everyone's moved away from stage. You have random people climbing on stage in political rallies saying things. On what basis are we responsible for that? How do we become responsible?
Mr. Kumar Mangalam, number one, the fact is, sir, you can't have it both ways. You can't say that these are the people who are supporting us, and then if one of the Congress workers, because on the contrary, the BJP has been able to, with allegedly, again, prove that person on stage was a Congress worker, that horrible abuse was chanted by many who were present there. Now, you haven't been, the Congress here, been able to prove otherwise, that he wasn't a Congress worker, is all I'm saying. You might
The
say, and
fact
you're
that it
correct,
was-
you're correct
no,
that
let me
Rahul
say-
Gandhi wasn't.
Let me also say that the person who organized the program there, Mohammad Naushad, who I've known for 20 years, has never used this kind of language, actually immediately came out and apologized for it after the fact, even though he was not on stage.
Okay. So,
So
okay,
just
fair,
because
okay,
he had set
you're
up the
giving in your
program, he
explanation, but
immediately condemned it and apologized.
all right, you've
The
condemned
rest
it
of
and
what
you've
you said is
apologized.
alleged, so
You've
there's not much for
apologized
me
for
to
it,
say.
but the fact remains that abuse was echoed after a rally was where your leaders had left the stage. But that abuse was echoed. Now, that can be translated multiple ways where politics is concerned. So you can't really blame the BJP or any political leader for using it. This is the nature of politics. You do that too. Now, allow me to, okay, I'll come back to you. Allow me to bring in the BJP spokesperson into this conversation. Sanju Verma, it's terrible where abuse is concerned. The Prime Minister himself clearly got emotional today where he referred to the abuse. But there's a larger question there. It's not the first time that, abuse has entered politics, unfortunately, and it cuts both ways. There are multiple examples coming in from your side as well.
Preeti, let me make one thing absolutely clear, that in the past, if the Prime Minister made some comments, he duly apologized. But the difference is that the top brass of the Congress, be it Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi or Priyanka Vadra, with rabid impunity, they're trying to brazen it out, thinking if they brazen it out, it will all be shoved under the carpet. You have abused, when I say you, I mean the Congress party. You have abused the Prime Minister more than, your fair share in the last 20 plus years. But abusing the Prime Minister's dead mother, that is taking political discourse to a new low. And I've not forgotten in 2023, Pawan Khera, who acts all hoity-toity and, holier than thou attitude is what he assumes most of the time. He actually took a jibe at the Prime Minister's father, calling him Narendra Gautam Das Modi instead of Narendra Damodar Das Modi. Mohammad Rizvi, a Congress worker, used, the most vituperative language against the Prime Minister, and the same Priyanka Vadra, who says, Ladki hu, lad sakti hu. The same Sonia Gandhi, who talks about women empowerment. The same Rahul Gandhi, who talks about mohabbat ki dukaan. In sabke muh mein tala lag gaya. Shame on the Congress party. And let your audience hear this. Maut ka saudagar against the PM, told by Sonia Gandhi. Neech, Manishankar Ayyar called the PM. Anand Sharma called the PM mentally unstable. Pramod Tiwari, a Congress leader, called the Prime Minister Hitler, Mussolini, Gaddafi. There are people from the Congress who called the Prime Minister Bandar, Kutta. Beni Prasad Verma called the Prime Minister a mad dog. And then you have people like Renuka Chaudhary who compared the Prime Minister to a virus. So I think for the Congress to be sitting here on national television and giving lectures to the BJP on decorum, dignity and probity is the height of hypocrisy. Why drag the Prime Minister's mother? Are you not ashamed of it?
All right, okay, but I'll circle back to you, Sanju Verma, because when the Prime Minister apologized, when of course he wasn't in the office of Prime Minister, it was because he said those words. Therefore, he apologized, which is great. But in this case, it's a Congress worker, which the Congress alleges is not even their worker, number one. Number two, forget about all of this. As recent as 1 year ago, you have a Suvendu Adhikari who used, near exact abuse as the Congress worker. Was any action taken against him by the BJP? Absolutely not. He continues, he never apologized, and he continues to be the leader of opposition. So therefore, it cuts both ways, is all I'm saying, and I'll circle back to you. I want to bring in Ashutosh into this conversation and Rajat Sethi. Ashutosh, the fact is, look back at political history. Every time the Prime Minister has been abused, it's been turned into a brilliant political opportunity. Go back to when Lalu, in 3rd of March 2024, questioned Prime Minister whether he has a parivar or a family. What it turned out to be, Modi ka parivar. Go back to what Sanjay Raut from UBT Shiv Sena said, where he basically questioned the Prime Minister, linking him to Aurangzeb. The Prime Minister turned it around. Go back again, we can, Modi teri kabar khudegi, we know what that turned into. Modi tera kamal khilega. Chaukidar chor hai. All of that, Ashutosh, was converted into brilliant political opportunity by the BJP. Has the Congress offered this on a platter?
Preeti, I very seriously, I beg to differ with your assumptions and your premise. I do not agree even 1% on this. Yes, Mr. Narendra Modi is a prime minister. He's our prime minister. So anybody who abuses him abuses us also. It's condemnable act. It's a despicable act, and right that the person abused was arrested. But what about those who has abused? About that national spokesperson of the BJP who abused in a live TV debate to the fellow Congress panelist. He continued to be a national spokesperson. He continues to appear on the TV channels. BJP has not taken one action against him. So, yes, abusers should not be there. But you can't be selective about who's being abused and who's not being abused. I understand that the Prime Minister has a brilliant mind. He tries to use every opportunity and try to turn into the political thing. But just because Prime Minister is playing a victim card and has played victim card in the past does not mean that the Prime Minister is there for the third term because of the abusers hurled at him and he turned into a victim card. He's there because he has a brilliant political understanding and he knows how to play to the gallery, and he has a weak opposition. So I do not subscribe when the Prime Minister won in 2014 because of the Chaiwala jibe or because of the somebody called him other kinds of names. In 2014, he brilliantly converted the entire opposition weakness and the corruption charges into a political thing, and he got to 72, 82 seats. So politics is not so simple that one abuse can turn the election. It has never happened. It will not happen. And it's only he's trying to emotionally connect with the people. But it would have been better if the Prime Minister has come out openly and sacked his national spokesperson who abused a fellow panelist.
You know, Ashutosh, one thing is correct, and nobody's trying to imply that's oversimplification to suggest that one abuse is going to swing an election. Of course, that's not happened. It didn't happen in 2014 with the Chaiwala jibe, and it didn't happen with Chaukidar Chor Hai in 2019 as well. But it does somewhere down the line put another or bring another emotive layer to a cohesive campaign. And that has happened. It's also worked against the Prime Minister. And you can hark back to the Didi or Didi jibe in West Bengal. It's happened. So, I want to bring in Rajat Sethi into this. Rajat, how do you read with the current developments, the Prime Minister today clearly getting emotional? Would you think this will somewhere down the line strike a chord as emotive as it can be with especially the Bihari women, because he was addressing Bihari women today?
See, it's shameful if I were to venture into the domain where I were to evaluate an abuse that was made to a mother on electoral terms. One thing is clear. Congress and Mr. Rahul Gandhi himself made a huge moral blunder. Forget about political blunder by not coming out and admonishing this person. There were cross questions, the motives were questioned, all kinds of theories were floated before the party could come out. Otherwise, you see Congress party and especially Mr. Rahul Gandhi is pretty eager to tweet on every rather random thing. Why did he not come out and tweet exactly what was expected out of him? All that was expected was to say, I'm ashamed and I'm sorry. This would have ended the debate and all the chatter that we are having today, and the full stop could have come to the entire issue. Now, you want to exclusively serve it as a political pointer to the BJP. BJP workers will get emotional. See, this is one leader, Prime Minister Modi, who is unlike any other leader that this country has seen. He draws in a huge emotional appeal among the people and among the workers. So there will be reactions, and you saw the reactions panning out even in the streets of Patna. Let people in Congress party giggle around an abusive issue. They don't have an iota of shame left in them that on such a serious topic, they have the audacity to come out and giggle on a live television. I'm embarrassed to even share panel with these morons. Now, let me come back to the point here. Look at opposition. Look at India Alliance. Look at India Alliance. It has members of parliament who tend to, be the voice of women. But let me tell you, the women of our country have been most let down by women politicians. They never open their mouth when on every women issue, they should not have taken partisan positions, and they should have come out and stood as one and as united. But let me tell you here, people like Mahua Maitra will never get respect from the people and the women of this country because they are so political in everything that they utter out. That's what I wanted to say.
All right, one second. I just want to, I just would like to request all of you to not get abusive on the show. There's no point getting into name calling. Just, it's a subtle reminder to everyone. It's true that, that even women politicians are responsible. Sanju Verma had given the example of Renuka Chaudhary, but Renuka Chaudhary also, Sanju Verma, faced a jibe by the Prime Minister being called Shrupanka, if I'm not wrong. And correct me if I'm wrong. But I'll go to, Mr. Kumara Mangalam, and then I'll come to Sanju Verma first. Mr. Kumara Mangalam, the fact is, one might say that why are we dragging it into the realms of politics and Bihar? But it is also, and practically, about Bihar elections. The language, the commentary, yes, it's disgraceful that there was an abuse that was hurled. Congress has chosen the best way that they feel to deal with it. Whether it's correct, incorrect, we'll only know in times to come. But the fact is that the rhetoric is being used where Bihar is concerned.
Yes, without a doubt. I mean, this is pointed to the Bihari voter. And even though I have
Which
been
could be
called a
detrimental
moron
for
on your
you.
show, no, I don't think it'll be detrimental. I made a point earlier in my monologue when I said why it won't, because I think it matters who actually abused and when that abuse was made. When I contested elections, I'll tell you from a personal standpoint, this happened to me as well, that during my campaign, I was contesting in an assembly that was right next to the sitting chief ministers. And a day before polling, someone came and abused that chief minister's mother, and it completely turned around. So I'm very well aware of how an abuse like this, if made by someone in a particular position of power against a sitting, against someone like, Mr. Modi, the Prime Minister, it can turn against. But I'm telling you, it matters who made the abuse, and it also matters when the abuse is made. We are far from both those scenarios. And let me say that, the reason I smiled, and much to Rajat's chagrin, is that the way you set the narrative matters a lot. He, demeaned Mr. Gandhi by saying he tweets about any random thing. He then went on to laud the Prime Minister. I mean, if you're going to be a shill, just be a shill. There's no problem. I have no problem with that. Try not to call other people names who disagree with you. This is a very good example of how people on the right vitiate the atmosphere. At this point, I have not called anybody names. But if you notice, they got themselves so worked up that they had to come out and insult me in any way possible. And this is what I mean by who starts it. When you vitiate the atmosphere with words that you use, there is no telling what comes out of the churn that occurs. And let me say that I again repeated that we have absolutely no proof that this man, even though on your show you've said several times, was a Congress worker. In some places, I've even read he's a youth Congress worker, which I know for a fact he's absolutely not. If he is a Congress worker, I'm sure he'll have a membership card. If he's a youth Congress worker, he'll 100% have a membership card.
Your time is up, but Mr. Kumara Mangalam, the fact is, let me say this again. It's something that we did speak of earlier on in the show. The BJP alleges by the virtue of the card that you're talking about that he is a Congress worker, right? Now, the Congress hasn't been able to prove otherwise because you've had ample time. You could have said he's not a Congress worker and furbished that proof alongside. That hasn't happened, is all I'm trying to suggest, right? You might say he's a random Congress worker, but the fact is he was on that stage. It might have happened later. Optics sometimes just, prove a point which you might not want to accept, but whatever, the point on that account is. Sanju Verma, I know you want to come in. Rajat wanted to retort, but Rajat, allow me to circle to everyone and I'll come back to you right after that. Sanju Verma, to bring you into this conversation, like I said, there's nobody kosher in all of this, Sanju Verma. You had named Renuka Chaudhary. Renuka Chaudhary herself has faced, you might not call it abuse, but it's also a jibe when somebody is called Shrupanka for laughing the way she laughed. And that jibe she faced directly from the Prime Minister.
Preeti, and please now don't get offended. Let's get one thing very, very clear. When Renuka Chaudhary was laughing hilariously, she was asked by the chair of the House to stop because the Prime Minister wanted to make his comment on a very serious subject. The Prime Minister did not directly name Renuka Chaudhary. So I take strong objection to you continuously, bringing this Renuka Chaudhary issue and saying that the Prime Minister had called her Shurpanakha. He did not. I say this on your show, he did not name her. So let's get that fact very clear. And my second point is this. What about Mahua Moita? Making fun of somebody? taking political jibes, I can still understand. She said Amit Shah's head should be cut and put on the table. That is a call for murder of the Union Home Minister. That is not merely taking pot shots politically. And Mahua Maitra, who is she? The same lady who sold her parliamentary login and password to a businessman sitting in Dubai for a pair of Ferragamo heels, a bottle of Chanel perfume, and a Louis Vuitton bag. ये बीजेपी को नैतिकता पर भाषण देंगे. And let me say one thing about Rahul Gandhi. What did he say prior to Lok Sabha 2024? ये जब मोदी हार जाएगा ना चुनाव, ये जो देश की जनता है, देश की युवा सड़कों पर उतरकर इस मोदी को डंडे मारेगी. That is as bad as it gets. Rahul Gandhi is uncouth, he's foul-mouthed, and he does not know when to stop. And more importantly, he does not know how to stop. And now let me say one more thing for the benefit of Ashutosh. You know, I was just on a debate with him a few minutes back. He said BJP spokespersons engage in whataboutery. I don't listen to them. They're abusive, blah, blah, blah. I openly condemn what Prem Shukla said about Surendra Singh Rajput's mother. But Surendra Singh Rajput also abused in the most vicious terms Prem Shukla's father. I did not see the likes of Ashutosh condemning Surendra Singh Rajput. That is called whataboutery by the likes of Piggy media, which is what Ashutosh denotes.
Okay, all right. I'll just hark back to, the sequence of events. Because Sanjay Verma, nobody is saying it's an abuse, but sometimes there's a lot of conversation that also happened in Parliament. You say that I'm constantly trying to make a point. No, I'm not trying to make a point. Because you've now tried to suggest that I'm trying to build on something that never really happened. Renuka Chaudhary laughed. It was inappropriate for her to interrupt the Prime Minister's speech. The chair asked her to stop. She laughed. And then the next comment compared her, which came from the Prime Minister, the laughter to Shroopnakha. That's what happened, ma'am. Now,
he did not name her Preeti Chaudhary. He did not name Renuka Chaudhary.
Referring to the laughter of Renuka Chaudhary. Ma'am, nobody's lying. If you are going to get into, it's not a direct.
No, listen.
Madam,
you have a bad habit of always deflecting.
Madam, nobody is deflecting. Nobody is deflecting.
No, you are
I'm just giving you the facts. I'm giving you the facts.
No, you're not. You're convoluting the
point is you might not get the facts on any other channel. You'll get them here. So will the Congress.
Preeti,
so
you're
will the
twisting
Congress.
the facts.
Madam,
sorry.
These are the facts. Go refer to the video. Go refer to the video. Happy to share
you
it
also
with you.
refer to the video.
Yes,
the Prime Minister did not name Renuka
Ma'am, don't
Chaudhary.
derail the debate. I want to bring in...
No, you have derailed the debate.
No, ma'am.
Don't always
right
accuse
now,
me.
do not...
Preeti,
can I just go on to
me all
another...
the time.
Can I...
Stop accusing me all the time.
Sorry? What did you say?
No, I said don't accuse me all the time that
Nobody
I am the one
is
who's
accusing
derailing the debate.
Madam, I'm
Yes,
trying to
that's
move
what
on.
you're doing.
If you're not allowing me to move on, you are derailing the debate. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, so please move on.
Can I just get the fader down? I thought we were on a 2-minute timer. Thank you. I just want to move on to Ashutosh, and I want to go to Rajat. I'm sure Rajat wants to respond to the Congress spokesperson. But Ashutosh, the fact is horrible language. One might say that it's been spoken before, it's happened before, he's playing the victim. No, he's not really playing the victim. That kind of language was used on a Congress platform.
See, Preeti, I stopped listening to the BJP spokesperson. When they speak, I mute. So I don't listen even a word what he or she is saying. Because I don't want to get into all these kinds, except when I'm in the studio and I'm attacked, only then I respond. So that's my defense mechanism. But the fact of the matter is, the whole world knew what words were used by BJP spokesperson to Surendra Rajput's mother. Everybody knows this. Now if somebody is trying to give a different turn altogether, then I can only understand कि आपको अपना justify करना होता है, और because क्योंकि एक habit बन गई, it has become a habit, and this is the intimidating tactics. You want to dominate anchors, you want to dominate debate, you want to intimidate them, you want to threaten them, you want to insult them, you want to use all kinds of things, so that the anchors are not allowed to criticize you. That's the way it has become. And Preeti, a few years back when I was in IBN 7, I threw one Congress spokesperson from my debate. Because he tried to intimidate me, I just threw him out and I did not let him enter in my debate ever. But today it has become a rule. They come prepared, and I'm told in private that they were told from the above, who control these media things, that you have not defended us because you have not abused. You have not intimidated. They apologize in private. And I'm sharing this with you. Except a few. One of the very sober spokesperson from the BJP, and I told him, man, I know you for the last 20 years. What happened to you? He said, if I don't do this, I will not get notice and I will not get promotion. That's how it has become.
Okay, now we've also, thank you for standing up and saying for what you did, but we've also derailed the debate. But all the panelists, I don't believe in throwing out anyone. Everyone's allowed to have their say and exactly the time that they should. They're free to abuse me or their panelist by using that time as long as they finish in 2 minutes. Rajat Sethi, you've been waiting patiently to make your point, responding to the Congress spokesperson. Go ahead.
I want to take strong objections to what was said. You are a woman panelist, and above everybody, you should be the one who should ensure that the statement that was just made, that okay, the environment was vitiated to an extent that this had to come and it was part of the churning. So there was an attempt here on your show. Again, you would not have paid attention because with Congress you go with soft gloves, which you should again listen to the recording once again. But the viewers have heard it. The attempt was made to actually belittle the cause, belittle what was being said, and try to gloss over by saying, "Ye sab to hota rehta hai. This is part of manthan. Ye to niklega, vish bhi niklega, amrit bhi niklega." What kind of normalization are you attempting at on your show? And you don't even care to stop that person who's trying to come in and repeat the same mistakes, who essentially has now become a part of the DNA, to come out and abuse Prime Minister. You might not have an issue with it. I have an issue with it. Many people have an issue with it. Deal with that. All that was expected was an honest sorry. And that's it. And I'm again saying, barring this sorry and an outright sorry, nothing else was expected from them. But barring this, they'll say everything else. They'll come out with all kinds of examples. Ashutosh ji also started talking about, all frivolous conversations that he had one-on-one. I can also say that Ashutosh ji himself has said a lot of things in private. He's also gone in and said a lot of things. But is there any point talking about those things? The moot point here remains. What was said was absurdity of the highest level, the lowest level of politics that can reach to. And also, if Congress does not come out openly to try and tame all of these people who try and reach to the stages of Congress party, they are going to face the heat of common people. Forget about taking political sides, but common people will not like the way Congress party has tried to mollycoddle this issue and try to gloss over this issue deliberately.
Your time is up, Rajat Sethi, and I would reckon, there's a reason why we continue to ask the questions that we do of all, because if you're talking about me, definitely do not need or take any sermons from the likes of you or anybody else on the panel. So I'm going to let it be, but you're welcome, like I said, to come on the show, use your 2 minutes to attack me, to attack your co-panelists, whoever you may choose to do. The questions will come. Was it reprehensible, the abuse hurled for the Prime Minister? I think I've said that at least 10 times. But it's happened before on the other side as well. Because the likes of you are not quite used to hearing the other side on other channels. On this channel, you will. You're most welcome to come to my debate next time. Use the time to attack me. With that, I'm going to let it be. All right, we have the latest news break that we are getting in on the Delhi riots case, where Umar Khalid and Sharjeel Imam and others were also charged. The bail decline order, their bail was declined by the Delhi High Court. That order has now been accessed. High Court's big observation on right to protest. The High Court, Delhi High Court, in the order stated, conspiratorial violence under garb of protest cannot be permitted. Such actions must be regulated, checked by state machinery. Sharjeel Imam, Umar Khalid were denied bail this afternoon by the Delhi High Court, along with 8 others in the 2020 Delhi riots case. To give our viewers a bit of a backgrounder, today the Delhi High Court denied bail to all accused in connection with the 2020 Delhi riots larger conspiracy case, which include Sharjeel Imam and Umar Khalid. They were all arrested in 2020. Sharjeel Imam actually was arrested a little earlier. Under the stringent UAPA provisions, the prosecution alleged that Delhi riots, which left over 50 dead and hundreds injured, were part of a planned conspiracy. It also argued that Shaheen Bagh protest was not organic, stating it was an inorganic and artificial protest used as a facade for conspiracy. The accused sought bail, citing over 4 years of incarceration and the slow pace of the trial. The real arguments in the trial are yet to start, but bail has still not been given. Umar Khalid and Sharjeel Imam's lawyers also argued for parity with co-accused who were granted bail. They now have the option to challenge the High Court's order in the top court of the country. I want to cut across to my colleague Anisha Mathur, who's going to give us the finer points of the case, because Anisha, there is a huge segment which seems to suggest 5 years in jail, no bail, trial yet to start. If this is not justice delayed, then what is?
Well, Preeti, to answer those who are raising this delayed justice argument, in fact, this is exactly the point that was made by all these appellants, all these persons accused before the High Court, that it has been now 5 years. The trial is yet to begin. In fact, there is only the trial is currently at the stage only of arguments on framing of charges, which means there is going to be a very long time for the trial to actually happen. But what the High Court has said is that just the prima facie delay on its own is not, and I'm reading out here, grant of bail on the sole ground of long incarceration and delay of trial is not universally applicable rule in all cases. In fact, they have said that there are reasonable grounds to believe the prima facie allegations, and the court has also said that at this stage, they will not be looking into the details of the allegations or the details of the witness statements, but only a prima facie view of whether there are reasonable allegations, reasonable evidence of allegations against them. Now, what the court has said is that the specific allegations against all these accused are backed by prima facie evidence. What is interesting also, Preeti, is that in 2021, the two-judge bench of the Delhi High Court had granted bail to Devangana Kalata, Natasha Narwal, and Asif Iqbal Tanha, in this same case where this court had said that protest is not terrorism, that there is a right to protest for all persons, all citizens in this country. Now, however, the two-judge bench of the Delhi High Court is saying that they cannot get parity with Devangana Kalata judgment because there are prima facie allegations against these persons. In fact, they have said that there is no absolute right to protest in the country, that unfettered right to protest would damage the constitutional framework and impinge on law and order. So a clear turnaround by the Delhi High Court in how they have viewed these riots, the anti-CAA protests as well. So remember, this case is the larger conspiracy case. There are UAPA allegations, which means that allegations are of conspiracy to commit terrorist activity, of raising funds for terrorist activity, for incitement of terrorist activity, rioting, murder, damage to public property, as well as allegations under the Arms Act and several other offences. Now, what the court has said that there is there are specific allegations against the 9 persons who had come before the Delhi High Court now. And remember, these people have also been before the Delhi High Court since 2022. It has been over 3 years since their bail petitions have remained before the Delhi High Court as well. But the court has said, we are of the view that each member, I'm quoting here, each member of the conspiracy, particularly the present appellants, were prima facie assigned a specific role in furtherance of the conspiracy till its execution. And at this stage of consideration of bail application, it would be impermissible in law to enter into the merits or demerits of the evidence against them. So now, while Sharjeel Imam and Umar Khalid are accused of mobilization of members of the prima facie conspiracy, delivering inflammatory speeches to instigate mass mobilization, the allegations against the other accused are of the actual participation in the mass mobilization, in raising funds, and the riots themselves. So this is a very serious point that has been raised by the High Court. And now, of course, their lawyers are saying they will be going to the Supreme Court. Back to you.
Thank you for breaking the case down for us, Anisha. We're going to leave it at that. With that, viewers, I'm going to cut across to Maharashtra. Huge development this evening. Manoj Jarange Patil has ended his fast a short while ago. Tuesday evening, he accepted the draft resolution at Azad Maidan. The government has issued the notification on the implementation of granting Kumbi status to Marathas of the Marathwada region. 6 out of Patil's 8 demands have been met. Earlier in the day, tensions flared at Azad Maidan as police moved in to evict Maratha quota protesters following a Bombay High Court directive to clear the site. What began as a peaceful demonstration turned into a standoff between the cops and the protesters refusing to vacate. But, viewers, net, the big win is Manoj Jarange Patil's protest has registered, and reservation status under Kumbi OBC will now be allowed, and where the Marathas are concerned of the Marathwada region. I want to quickly cut across to my colleagues Ritvik Bhalikar, who's joining us, and our Mumbai Bureau Chief Managing Editor Sahil Joshi as well. Sahil, break it down on what these developments really mean for Maharashtra.
Well, this was the biggest political challenge Devendra Fadnavis must have ever faced after becoming the chief minister for the third time. The Maratha agitation has always been a reason for worry for the BJP. The way the Lok Sabha results turned out, the whole Maratha community, specifically in Marathwada region of Maharashtra, turned against the BJP, and which the results were completely shocking for the BJP. Ever since, they have been pretty particular about the demands made by the Maratha community. Interestingly, there is a reservation for the Maratha community in Maharashtra under SEBC, the socially and economically backward class, which is over and above the reservation given to various communities in Maharashtra for SC, ST and OBC communities. But this particular agitation by Jarange Patil was specifically for the region of Marathwada, where which was earlier was under the Nizam rule, and there the Maratha community was also known as the Kunbi community, which is in the OBC category in Maharashtra. So Jarange Patil's demand specifically was that the Maratha people living in the Marathwada region in Maharashtra should be given the Kunbi status and given a reservation in the OBC quota, and which faced a huge opposition from the existing OBC community in Maharashtra, saying that that there will be a tussle within the OBC against the Maratha community on the political reservation as well, because in the local self-government, the local bodies, there is a political reservation for the OBC community as well. So that is why the whole episode became political, as well as we could see that little bit push and pull within the ruling alliance between Eknath Shinde and Devendra Fadnavis, because this particular demand was raised even during Eknath Shinde's chief ministership, and Eknath Shinde had claimed a kind of a victory by putting down Jarange Patil's demand for the reservation by accepting most of his demands and claiming that he is the true leader of the Maratha community in Maharashtra. So the whole episode had become kind of a political challenge for Devendra Fadnavis as well. And specifically this time because during the Ganpati festival, thousands of people, lakhs of people, Maratha people, people from the Maratha community from Marathwada reached out in Mumbai and blocked the whole South Mumbai, which is supposed to be a region where the offices are located, the government offices are located, and created a huge issue for law and order with respect to the law and order as well in Maharashtra. But it seems now that this government resolution has been issued, which gives that status, the OBC status, to the people from the Maratha community in Marathwada. But there will be some check and balances. We'll have to see how it unfolds, because in next few months, Maharashtra is going to have a major local body elections in Jilla Parishads, Nagarpalika, and the local municipal council, as well as the municipal councils of Mumbai and the big cities as well. So this particular issue is going to be kind of a game changer for
True.
the Maharashtra politics as well in upcoming elections.
Well, you're right there, because this will have ramifications where the domestic politics is concerned, especially in Marathwada region. Ritwik Bhalekar is also joining us. Ritwik Bhalekar, a quick update. You have Manoj Jarange breaking his fast, once again heralded the hero of Marathwada, despite where the last Maharashtra election was concerned, the Jarange factor clearly had not worked.
Yes, absolutely, because at that time Manoj Jarange Patil had kept himself away from supporting or going against anyone, any party to be specific. But this time when he had announced this protest, it was quite evident that CM Devendra Fadnavis on his target as well as BJP was going to bear the brunt. But after 5 days of deliberations, Cabinet Subcommittee has finally reached a technical grounds consensus with Manoj Jarange Patil. But we need to see, as Sahil sir rightly pointed out, that what will be the political implications in the coming days, because local body elections, civic body polls are upcoming, and how this decision is going to benefit BJP and Devendra Fadnavis, or is it going to be again some kind of a new battle or new issues which will be coming along in the coming days. We need to see that.
All right, Ritwik and Sahil, appreciate for both of you for joining us with that quick update. I'm going to let it be a keen eye on all developments on the ramifications of what just happened in Maharashtra, where you have Marathas from the Marathwada region included in the Kumbi OBC caste, and local body elections coming in soon. What and how will this move impact that?